Hello everyone and welcome to my first Kamigawa Neon Dynasty draft. This one will be a traditional draft and I think I will be, at least at first, maybe there will be 2 uploads per day. One will be traditional draft and the other one will be premier draft. Assuming I have time to draft that much, but that'll be the for the first couple of weeks at least the norm. I will be playing some sealed deck too at some point, but I will start with the drafts now. I will try to explain my thought process as well as I can with these new cards. Of course, there's only 1 minute time here to make a pick, so I have to choose fast. But these are new cards for everyone, including me. So let's try to make some kind of sense here. First of all, the rare here is good. I think it is worth first picking, but not necessarily like amazing bomb rare. Malicious Malfunction is more like a sideboard card. Flame Discharge is a very good removal spell. Might be my pick here. Command of Faces, Kagazan. It's an incredibly good one drop, and when you get to curve out this turn 1 and then a creature on turn 2 with the +1/+1 counter, that'll be great. Not sure though I'm picking it over the Flame Discharge. Colossal Sky Turtle, probably one of the better ones of these build around uncommons, are really good. How about the commons here? I like the Katana. Yeah, I think the Katana might be the most interesting common here, but the pick here is between the Flame Discharge, maybe the rare. Well, this is a 2-color card, although quite splashable if you have if you have green. But I take the Flame Discharge. So this thing deals, if you have a modified creature, it's a very efficient removal spell with flexibility. And even if you don't, there is still the flexibility. You can kill a 4 toughness creature with 5 mana. And so on, and of course the idea is to ideally have you want to have the modified creature to make this very cheap spell to cast. Now there's a mythic rare, and this will be also my set completion series. I will always complete the set in my first, I don't know, like 60 to 70 drafts, including all the mythics, which means that I will be redrafting mythic rares, even though they might not go to my deck, and I don't have to do it for regular rares because it's easy to complete the regular rares when you are mythic completing a set. So I will take this no matter what. If it wasn't here, let's first read. This is actually quite good, and this is of course totally playable card. But if that wasn't here, should I take something like an Asari Captain here? Probably not. I think I would take the rare anyway here. It's actually quite good. Basically, you can just get free cards out of this thing. It's really good stuff. It will cost some life, but usually it's worth it. Alright, now the Dragon Kami Reborn is not really that good. I think it is maybe like semi-playable if you have enough creatures in your deck, but not really too amazing. I do like the Dockside Chef, but it also could be time to take the build around uncommon just to test these things. This could be really good, and I already have both black and a red card in here. Ambitious Assault, interesting because these effects don't usually draw a card. This has the potential to do so. This is quite expensive. Iron Apprentice. This is mostly good if you are caring about modified creatures, and this deck might be, but I think I'll take the Onai Cult Anvil. The other option is the Dockside Chef, which will be a decent card in most decks anyway. But I'll take this. Wait a minute, what happened? Some lag happened. I almost took a wrong card there, but anyway, I got what I wanted to. So this, of course, wants to have some number of artifacts, but then you can, maybe play around with the one construct artifact. Just keep sacrificing it during your own turn, and then you get it back, and at least you get to drain a bit. Ideally, you will get more constructs from your other artifacts. All right, so black and red is currently what I'm looking to take, and there is just nothing for that. Okay, white seems to maybe be open because the Fall of Lord Konda is really good. First of all, you just exile an expensive card, and then, well, this chapter 2 doesn't really matter. There is a blue rare in their format that can steal stuff, but you exile something and then you get a 1/3 defender that draws your card. This is the best card in the pack, easily. I'm not taking something like an Unstoppable Ogre over it. So yeah, let's take the best card, and if I need to move to white, then I do. Well, this pack has no white cards, and there's another Oni Cult Anvil. These do stack nicely. if you have both of these on the battlefield, you will get multiple 1/1 tokens. I think I'm gonna take it. This pack really has nothing for white, so I might just ignore the Fall of Lord Konda here. I also like the Okiba Reckoner rate. In general, this set has a lot of good 1-mana commons and uncommons. This is one of the better ones, but I think just because I have one of these anvils already, I'm taking another one. Normally, it might be just better to take this thing here, but I will now go deep with the artifact black-red deck if I can do that. Yep. And here, no artifacts, but what is the voltage surge doing here? This is probably the second best common from red. I do like the 2-mana deal 3 damage a little bit more, but this is very close. There's also the runaway Trashbot, which could be really nice in this deck if I'm going to focus on artifacts, but I have to take the voltage surge here. Such a nice cheap removal spell. I don't think the Shadow Walker is bad either, but maybe not the best thing in this deck. Uncharted Haven is also kind of like Terramorphic Expanse or Evolving Wilds. Does very similar things without the shuffling part. I would like it, but here it's gonna be the high quality removal spell, which I don't think should be a pick 6 ever. Alright, so Gloomstrigger is extremely good. Chainfall, I think I still keep with my, especially because I have reasons to be pick artifacts, and I have a decent artifact here. Chainfall Centipede has the reconfigure mechanic, and this I think is quite nice. You usually want to maybe reconfigure this to some of your other creatures. It's fairly cheap at 2 mana, but definitely because it's an artifact, and now I'm definitely interested in artifacts. So, and it's a totally playable card. Yeah, Gloomstrigger is better, but it's also green, so I don't necessarily want to splash if I don't have to. Alright, so not a lot of red here, although I did get the voltage surge very late, so I don't know what's going on with that. I'm still very happy to take the Reckoner rate here. It's not an artifact, but it is an enchantment, and black has some of those payoffs if you control both an artifact and an enchantment, and it's just a generally very high quality card, so let's take it. Okay, so no one cares about the ancestral katanas because these are one of the key commons in the samurai deck, but I guess I don't have to worry about it. I'll try the ninja here. I could take this. Nah, this is not that good. I guess it's more like if you have a lot of counters yourself, maybe it's playable, and maybe as a sideboard card against decks with counters. But I'll just take the Shadow Walker and let's see how it plays out. I don't really know. And here we have an experimental synthesizer, which is very, very easy pick. Also one other key samurai for the samurai deck. It could have been a nice white deck actually, but yeah, I like this artifact plan as well. So this thing works quite nicely with the Onicult Anvil, so let's do it. And we have an ambitious assault here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be the card. Oh, another good samurai. A lot of these good white cards are being passed here. I mean, the Mothrider Patrol is, I think, one of the good things. Now, it's not a samurai, but it's a warrior, and all the samurai triggers say a warrior or a samurai, so this will benefit from the things. But I'll take the white card here, sorry, the red card here now. I think I have enough black-red to not, switch any colors now. I'll take the Shrine Steward, just because if I get, both black and red shrines, maybe I can play it. Okay? The Colossus. Not sure if I'm gonna have mana for the 7 mana thing, but it's interesting. If there are both red and some color. Yeah, there's some cost reductions that I can, or just things that add mana that can be used for artifacts. So could be interesting. This is of course a massive beater with trample and haste, but and crew cost is only 2 power worth of creatures, but of course 7 mana is still 7 mana. I think this will works a lot, very well in the green decks that have a lot of, ways to get mana accelerating. Alright, do I get something nice in here? So, Mirror Box, of course, not really a limited playable card. Feel free to build around this in Constructed, but not good in Limited. Unless you have a very, very weird deck. It's possible, I guess. There are some nice cards, but I'm mostly interested in black and red. So the question is, am I going to take the high-speed hoverbike or just take the uncolored dual land? Because this is actually a fairly weak pack. There are some playables like Return to Action is okay. This is not a good one. This is just don't ever play this. Or I mean, I guess if you have a super focused deck, but it's still not worth it. But I think the decision is between the artifact vehicle here and the Bloodfell Caves. But I like the dual land here now. I have enough, playables here, I guess, so there's nothing too amazing here. I don't think that's any key piece for this deck. Alright, so there's another Flame Discharge in here. There's also another The Fall of Lord Konda. Someone took a rare here. Also the Invigorating Hot Spring is really... It seems like it's very good in the, in the red-green deck. But yeah, there are a bunch of things. Oh, there's a lot of good cards here. The UI already did. It's not as good as it maybe reached, but it's still going to be... I don't think I'm going to ever, cut the first copy from any black deck. But there's a Synthesizer, there's a Simian Sling. Both artifacts I'm interested in having. Maybe even the Apprentice. But here the Flame Discharge is just going to have to be the pick here because it's, it is good. Another Gloomsreaker, which I won't be picking here. No artifacts, sadly. No artifacts. I do want to have artifacts with the Occult Anvils, but guess I can take the Peerless Samurai. It's a 2/3 menace, and this can attack alone, and then I will get a discount, for example, for the Thundersteel Colossus if it ends up making my main deck. I don't think I'm gonna take another Dokuchi Shadow Walker, but to be noted is the synergy between these two. A menace creature is always going to be slightly harder for the opponent to block, and this can actually enable my existing Dokuchi Shadow Walker to enter the battlefield for cheap. So yeah, let's do it. And then, alright. Okay, I could have had 3 Gloomsreakers. That's pretty nice. Okay, this pack is good. So Gravelighter could be interesting. This maybe not. I don't think I have too much, the modified stuff going on. Iron Hoof Boar or Iron Hoof Boar gonna be always good. But then there's also the Automated Artificer, which will be nice in this deck. It will also ramp me to the Thundersteel Colossus if I will be playing it. But the Virus Beetle is also interesting. It's so good with the Occult Anvil. Alright, I may maybe try it now. Play the cheap card here. Not sure if the Gravelighter is just the fun I should have, but I like the artifact. Let's focus on the artifacts for now. And now there's a Dragon Spark Reactor. So this is a really high quality payoff for having a lot of artifacts. And I'm gonna take it now. There's not even actually any competition here. The other red and black cards are not really that amazing, so let's take this thing. Coming of Terrible Secrets would be okay if I had... I will have artifacts, but I have only 1 enchantment, and this doesn't really do anything except being a 4-mana 3/4. Not even an artifact, which I care about in this deck. So I don't know. I'm not going to play the Crackling Emergence either. It is an enchantment, but how many ninjas or rogues I have? I don't think a lot. 2 ninjas, no rogues. And there's a Banishing Light. This is really good even if you don't have the the 2/2 Samurai. Even if you don't get a 2/2 Samurai. But yeah, I took the Kami of Terrible Secrets just in case I find some more enchantments I want to be playing, which doesn't seem to be the case here though. I don't think I'm gonna play this with only artifacts enabling it. It is a colorless producing land, so you can't just randomly replace your color producing lands with these lands that easily. I don't like this thing. It's a bit too expensive for what it does. I'll take another Dokuchi Shadow Walker, sorry, just in case I will get more ways to attack, so that my creatures won't be blocked. Okay, Tempered in Solitude. That's an interesting card. I want to at least try it. It seems like it can be very good. It doesn't even have to be a Samurai or Warrior. Whenever any creature I control attacks alone, and it doesn't have to connect to opponent, just attack alone, and you potentially get extra cards, all for the cheap price of 2 mana enchantment. Alright, so now I don't think the return to action is that bad, but I just want to maximize my artifacts, and this is fine. Anything can crew this. Well, I don't think I have a 0 power creatures, but it will be fine here. And yeah, again, no one cares about the Katana. Alright, I don't have a lot of creatures and I'm a bit worried about it, but I guess the synthesizer can make a creature and I have one of them already. I will pick the other one. I think this is a really strong one, but it came back, so maybe no one is red-green. There's also Greater Tanuki here, still at pick number 10, quite weird. But yeah, let's take the synthesizer here. Oh, come on. Can I splash it? I mean, I guess I could if I got the fixing. I don't think this is the kind of a deck where I want to play a Kindle Fury. So I'll take this just in case I, have a possibility to splash this green card. Alright, Iron Hoof Boar. That's nice. That is just nice. Alright, so the Modern Age I think is one of the better blue commons. It's pick 13 here. I'll just still take the uncommon. Not gonna play any of that. Why is a Moonsnare Specialist here? I don't know. That is a quite good card. Alright. Anyway, okay, Bronze Blade Board. That is really interesting pick here. There's also the Scrapyard Steelbreaker, which I absolutely want to have, but I do like the boar more. Yeah, the reconfigure is nice. It's extremely expensive, but it's also very big stat boost, and you don't even have to use the reconfigure ever. You can just, play this as a 3-mana 3/2 trample, which is, not amazing, but when you care about the artifacts, then it's clearly better, and you do have the reconfigure option for late game. Alright, that's an easy pick here. I hope that the Steelbreaker or the Okiba Reckoner raid comes back, but we'll see. Okay, I could have 3 of these things. I guess there's like a diminishing returns. Opponent might not have a lot of those expensive creatures. But yeah, let's now take something for my deck. And, well, I don't think I need another Iron Hoof Boar. Dokuchi Silencer, this says that... Oh yeah, this is the one that, can just remove creatures. But look at my creature count. It's not really that good, and my deck isn't really good at enabling the ninja. I think I might just take the Terrarium because it's an artifact that cares about my synergies. Okay, I'll take it. I might even replace a land with it, but I'm not sure yet. It also would enable me to splash the Gloomstreaker. Alright, this is pretty interesting. So basically a quite slow card drawing thing, but it still acts as a 4/4 crew 3 vehicles in the meanwhile. And if you kind of complete the bank robbery, you get a treasure token and a pilot token, which can conveniently crew this thing. I think it's the peak here, but there's also a voltage surge here, also a Simming and Sling. Oh man, I think the voltage surge is really good, but I want to try this thing. I want to see how it works in practice. It's a rare. I will be having plenty of opportunities to play efficient removal spells. I want to try the rares now that the format is so new. Alright, so network terminal. Not really. No, there's a peak for me. Undercity Scrounger. Artifact creature, create treasure tokens pretty easily, I think. Don't necessarily want to have a third one of these guys. Yeah, let's take the Scrounger. And then we have an Aki Ronin. And not much else actually for my colors. Not even sure I'm gonna play this card, but I'm not going to play any of these other cards too. Let's take the 1/3. I might want to sideboard into 1/3 maybe. This is a best of 3 draft. Alright, now I get the Steelbreaker. This is really good when you have a lot of artifacts. The threat of activation is amazing. I would like to have the Malicious Malfunction as a sideboard card. It can be an amazing sideboard card. But I'm still taking this because this will be an amazing card for my main deck with the amount of artifacts I already have. Okay, Hot Spring here again, but there's also a voltage surge. Not sure why this comes so late, but I'm happy to pick it now. Okay, that is not 12 creatures, 16 non-creatures, but some of the non-creatures do create more creatures. Alright, so the Fall of Lord Conda also not something people are interested in taking. I'm not ever playing the... Wait a minute. Oh, we have some... we have a different amount of uncommons. I guess it's somehow guaranteed to get certain class of cards, because usually you have only 3 uncommons, but this pack has 4. Okay, anyway, I'll take some of the uncommons, doesn't matter really. And here we have That's a good one, but I don't think I'm going to splash that. If I splash green, am I going to take this? Do I want to sideboard into 2 of these Thundersteel Colossus? I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna play 2 of those 7-drops, even after sideboard. Let's take the green thing. It's actually quite good, but I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna splash the green here. And then we have Rugged Highlands. But I have so many playables. Why do I need to splash the green? The Groom's Trigger is good, but I'll just take the Iron Hoof Boar here. Now, that seems like a more reasonable thing to do. And why is this Vaulted Search? Isn't this the one I passed when I took something else over it? What? Well, I have seen this before, so I took something else over it. Okay, then. Weird. Network terminal, sure. What did I take over it? I think I took the rare. Yeah, I took them. Yeah, what was it? Don't remember actually what the rare was. Come on. Don't I see it here? Oh, it was the, yeah, it was the Bank Buster. All right, fine. Was it? Or something else? I don't actually remember. It doesn't matter. Let's take the Fade into Antiquity if I actually want to sideboard into the green. Right, so this was the draft. Okay, then. Cut the lands for now. And I think, I'm not sure if I'm playing the Terrarium. It does give me a +1/+1 counter. It is expensive though, but it does give me a basic land, and it does synergize with the anvils. It also is something I can, sacrifice the Vaulted Search, I guess. Well, I'm definitely not playing the Kami of Terrible Secrets. Oh, I didn't get any of these. I guess the Shadow Walkers could be kind of like 4-drops, but that's not guaranteed. Anyway. 2 enchantments. Okay, Kami of Terrible Secret, it's gonna go away. It's not. I won't be playing a 4-mana 3/4 with no other abilities. How many artifacts it's currently? It's 17. 17 artifacts. Let's see how many of them I'm going to cut. This allows looting. It's not that hard because I will have artifacts I can tap to loot, I guess. I'm just not sure if it's something I need to play here. I mean, I have the 7 mana thing, but I'm not even sure I want to play it because I have the Iron Hoof Boars here. So if I cut that and the Network Terminal, and then I will be cutting. I'm not cutting this thing. This is too good when it gets to connect, and you can connect with the Ninja too. Ambitious Assault, bye-bye. I guess the Samurai doesn't really do much, but it's a creature. I don't want to cut too many creatures. That is 12. But then again, this will, this will give me creatures. And this is a creature too, but is it counted in there? No, it isn't, because it's a 1-mana card and it doesn't show as this yellow color in this diagram, so it's not included in the count. Hoverbike. I mean, I want to play the Hoverbike and the Samurai if I play at least one of these Dokuchi Shadow Walkers. I guess I'm going to cut one of them and play one of them. I will even put it to the 4-drop slot, just in case I mean, kind of hoping that it will work. Also, I have the Nashi Moonsage Scion, which I definitely want to be able to ninjutsu out. In which case it will be a 4-drop too. So let's do like that. And Aki Ronin doesn't seem to make any sense here in this deck. I will try the Tempered in Solitude. Okay, now it's going to be a little bit harder. I like that this thing has also menace. It works with a little bit with my 2 ninjas. So maybe I will want to play it. And then I would cut 2 cards. I don't think I'm going to cut any more artifacts because I want the reactor also to be, a functional card here. Now that I didn't take the, I did cut the Thundersteel Colossus, and I also have, and this is fixing my mana, and also I have the dual land, so this could easily be my land number. I mean, could replace my 17th land, and I think that's the case. I pay 2 mana of any color, I will get to have a basic land to my hand, and yeah, this allows me to keep, for example, starting hands which only have 1 color of mana available. So I will actually cut only 1 card with that thing. And it's not gonna be an easy cut. I guess the Tempered in Solitude, but I wanna try it. Who knows, maybe it's like an insanely good one. It's just that my deck doesn't have a lot of creatures. I guess the Dokuchi's Shadow Walker could still be cut, but I kinda like the idea to... it's a 6 mana 5/5 if nothing else, not that it's great. I mean, that's of course horrible, but this is going to be hard. I guess the high speed hoverbike, but it is good with the ninjas. Crew 1 isn't really that hard to achieve. Also, these things can make me those 1/1s. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to play 15 lands. Ironhoof Boar. Do I cut all the expensive stuff? No, that's not what I'm gonna do. I guess the Dokuchi Shadow Walker goes away. It's just I'd rather keep my artifacts in here. And this is only a 9. Well, it's 9 creatures plus the Reckoner thing plus these synthesizers. Although these are just 2/2s, very expensive ones in the end also. But still, I have more creatures than what it shows. I do have 2 vehicles though with a low creature count, but I want to have the artifacts. I will try it like this. I can, readjust the deck during sideboarding, so maybe it will be fine. Any reason to prefer? Yeah, well, I have 7 black cards and a lot of red, so I should play. I still want to have the Reckoner raid early. Won't be a turn 1 play often because I think I will only play 7 swamps here, but it's okay. Weird. I really wanted to have more payouts for the artifacts, but I think it will, based on these cards I have, black wasn't really that open. White red was definitely more open. I could have also been red green, I think, but I got the only cult anvils early, and I also got some artifacts to go with them. I kind of wanted to try it. Now I will play with the Neon Dynasty swamps. Okay, these are both nice. Let's start with this one and then mountains. Okay, don't know how it's gonna work, but we will see. Okay, we get a new game board here too. Alright, what do we have here? Virus Beetle with Temperate Solitude. I guess I can make them discard a card and then attack with this thing to get an extra card at some point. Anyway, I have also the Reckoner Bankbuster. Let's see how it goes. They might have, 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, and I might not have time to use this Bankbuster, but I definitely want to try it. Maybe it is really a bad card. It's not easy to tell. You get to draw a card for each activation, it's just that it takes a lot of mana to keep activating it. Opponent did mulligan though for 2, so this thing can destroy my creatures. Sure. It doesn't do anything if I don't have a creature. I mean, it deals 2 damage to me. Also, it can be used for other ninjas, of course. So, Virus Beetle to block this thing and make them discard when they mulligan to 6. Sounds like a good idea. Oh, they have a 39 cards in the deck, 4 cards in hand. Yeah, so they're playing more than 40 cards. Okay, they discarded the red 3/6 that returns small artifacts. Alright. They have this thing which they can use for some ninja, but I drew a 3-drop here. That's nice actually. That is very nice. Not gonna, of course, attack with this. Well, not gonna attack in the 1-2, but even without it, I want to keep it as a blocker. So let's see if they have a ninja now for the increase infiltrator here. It's a 1-2 flyer. Okay, they didn't have any reason to attack. So the boar is... I wonder why they didn't attack with it, though. I guess they didn't want to attack for 1. I think I'm gonna start doing the bankbuster thing. I have 4 mana for that. I don't even need to attack with the boar. I'm not necessarily going to trade on the silencer here. So let's do the bankbuster. I'm gonna start drawing cards. Opponent is not having any kind of pressure to me. Plus, I can crew it. This is still a vehicle. I can make it as a blocker. For example, opponent blocks the boar. Kills the boar. I can respond by crewing the bankbuster. So they have a dock side, Jeff. They can start sacrificing stuff. Okay, doesn't matter really. So I will remove a charge counter, draw a card, and it starts with 3. Yeah, this seems pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, of course, opponent is doing nothing, so it's easy for me to do my things here. Okay, voltage surge can kill. This can even sacrifice itself. That's quite sweet. So I'm gonna use 2 mana there. Maybe I'll just... I have so many ways to draw cards with this thing, let's play the synthesizer now. I might want to have the 4 mana sacrifice. Also, I will exile a card. I will get to play it now if I want to. Well, it's a land, so that's obvious. And this costs 3 mana too. Yeah, no reason to do that. So 2 mana. I guess I'll play the Temperate in Solitude and leave 2 mana up for the Bankbuster. I mean, opponent is really doing nothing, so this is a little easy now. Then I have the 5/4 Trample Haste guy coming up at some point too. Yeah, I mean, this is so many cards I'm drawing here. And the opponent, they had to discard and they also mulliganed, so this is me having plus many cards compared to the opponent now. They can destroy this thing. I will draw a card and then they get to put a counter on the infiltrator. I didn't even have red mana up, so the search wasn't really an option there. It's fine though, it's not like I'm going to... I mean, I'm taking 2 now. I guess I can take 2. Now I will also... Oh, there's a Flame Discharge. I don't have any modified creature, but there's no rush here. I think it's just time to play the Iron of Boar. Now I will be kind of wasting this trigger, but I think it's not gonna matter too much. I could attack with just the Bronze Blade Bow. That's a thing. That is a thing. Actually, I like that idea more. I have other things to do with mana. I don't care if they block with the Silencer. This will trample 2 damage anyway. Okay, just a land, but it's fine. It's a free card. I don't have to now draw that land. And now what I can do is I can just play the board post-combat, I guess. It has haste, but it's the best use of my mana anyway. If they have a kill spell on it, that means they have only, 2 cards left, and I still have... This can draw me a card. Every single creature attack gets me to have a new card, so I'm not really worried about them trading 1 for 1 here. Not at all. And I do have some removal if they have like bomb creatures here. Okay, that's a creature I will be killing here. By sacrificing or... Yeah, I can sacrifice the Virus Beetle. I do like the Samurai more here. Although I get to still do the exile part even if I don't get the 2/2. Interesting. So they might do some kind of double block, which would be very beneficial to me. Also, I have the Flame Discharge too, which can deal 5. Yeah, let's see what I mean, I'm gonna attack with just this guy. Exile a thing, which is a Dragon Spark Reactor. Very good. Very good. and then let's see how they do things. Double block is basically a death to them. They might take 5 and hope to... I don't know, they don't even have any other artifacts for this thing. It's just a 3-4 currently. Yeah. So no reason to do stuff in mid-combat here. And then I have the Dragon Spark Reactor, which costs 2. Don't think I'm doing this. This says artifact enters the battlefield. I could sacrifice this for 3 and then I can play up to 4 mana card, which is like, oh, just a land too, because I haven't played a land this turn yet. I mean, that doesn't sound so bad actually. Oh, I should tap 2 swamp here. Okay, let's actually sacrifice this. So I'm gonna exile another card again, play, and then it is the only cult anvil, and now this is gonna be pretty good because I'm going to play this thing. Reactor first. Swamp anvil. Oh, by the way, I made a mistake there, and I didn't even get punished. Because, you know, both of these were in exile. If the fact I flipped a 2 mana card, that was like one of the few things I could cast, because I also wanted to have this. This was just a clear mistake. I thought this was in my hand. Oh man, that was a mistake. Anyway, this works on my turn, so I should sacrifice the wider speedle here now to get the, you know, drain life thing here. I mean, I could do the sacrifice part on the opponent's turn, or they actually get to do this thing, but then I wouldn't get the 1/1. Alright, so now they are again tapped out. Man, I made a mistake. I'm not happy about that. I'm still in an extremely good shape, of course, but okay, let's see how they are going to. If I need to, I can use the Voltage Surge and a Flame Discharge here both. Okay. They should have maybe triple blocked, but whatever. Now I can just I will play the Centipede for sure. I might want to deal more than 4 damage, so I think it's time to play the Voltage Surge, sacrificing the 1/1. Which will trigger my anvil and get more stuff from the Dragon Spark reactor, and then I mean, this is just I'm playing very slow because this is a new format. I don't want to miss out on anything. And now I will just play a mountain and the Centipede here. I'll leave mana up for my stuff, including the Dragon Spark reactor, which is going to deal currently 5 damage, which is amazing. It deals both to a player and a creature, so I think this is gonna be very close to game over, because I mean, the amount of cards I've gotten here as extra is ridiculous. Okay, that's fine. That's a good card, by the way. Tap up to... Oh, I forgot this thing can tap stuff down. Alright, so... Circuit Mender. And then... yeah, they weren't interested anymore. I mean, I'm gonna win them anyway, so it's not really a question there. Alright, so they are black-red. Not as many artifacts as I have. I mean, do I have anything I want to even think about sideboarding? Like these 5/5s, can I easily attack past them? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not really sure I need anything very specific here. Anything is bad. I don't think anything is bad either, so I'll just do the same deck here. See how it goes in game 2 when maybe opponent can do a little bit more stuff. They did get, sort of stuck at 4 lands, but it's not a bad land count to be stuck in. If you have 4 lands and all spells, that's quite often good in limited too. Alright, so if I would draw another land, I would have a third. I would have both colors too. Given my hand, and most of these cards are very cheap, I'm actually going to keep it. I have 2 draw steps to find 1 land. I'm gonna do it. This could backfire, but because of I have the terrarium and such a nice hand to play with, I'm going to take a risk here. And now I got there right away. So they have that's a good one. That's a really good one. Do I want to get the land now on this turn? Leave the battlefield. Fire Spittle. If they don't have another artifact, this can't attack, but I'm not worried about it attacking actually. But there's a chance. Now this ninjutsu is it is 4 mana. I won't be able to do this quite yet. I think I like the anvil most. No, I can. Oh, no. I'm actually playing the terrarium because my plan was to play the anvil and then play the terrarium on the next turn. But this is better now. I don't care even if they would decide to kill this somehow. But let's see if they can start to grow this thing, because this on turn 2 can be really dangerous. Would be amazing in my deck. Okay, they have a network terminal. I do have removal spells that hit this, despite it having board 2, because I have a lot of those 1 mana removal spells. Alright, so not necessarily a bad draw, although the Moon Sage's Scion could be played now. And then they have about up to 5 mana available, maybe. This is not gonna connect. I prefer have it as a surprise attacker with ninjutsu using the flyer or something like that. I could play the bronze blade board too. But what I could also just do, I can play the anvil and the Okiba Reckoner raid, sacrifice this thing to get a 1/1 token. I won't be having 2 mana to use the ability. So that is what I choose to do here. I will use the discard effect once they have a little, not that many cards in hand. So I'm gonna sacrifice this on my turn because that's the only way to get the 1/1 token. You can always sacrifice on the opponent's turn, but the construct won't enter, except if it's my turn. Okay, they didn't have a 3rd artifact. Or I guess 4th, but they played the Kunai before they played the automaton. I'm not sure if they wanted to do that. Okay, they can make that deal more damage, right? What else? They still have 2 mana, another one. Okay, imagine if I draw one of my burn spells now that deal about 2 damage to this thing. That would be almost game over. Now what I can do is do the Moon Sage's Scion thing. I will lose this for permanently though. Not sure if I want to do that. I'd rather keep sacking stuff here. So with 4 mana available, I can play a Virus Beetle and the high speed Hover Pike. Maybe even trade with this thing, because this is a crew 1. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm going to attack with. I'm going to play this just in case, and then attack. Then I will be sacrificing this to get it back, drain a bit of life here. Also this Menace guy will help me connect with the Nashi, and then I will play the Virus Beetle. They have to discard the final card from their hand, which is sweet when they just discard it too for temporary pump effects. Alright, they are in top deck mode, and I can, if they don't find an artifact, they might loot, by the way. They can tap the other untapped artifact, which is the equipment too. So definitely not the creature, but they can tap the ninja's kunai, and it doesn't really affect how it works. They deal 3 to me for reasons I have no... 4. Oh, Hidetsugu consumes all. They would have lost this, so I'm gonna lose my construct, right? Non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. Okay, actually lose the Reckoner right too. Well, that happens. They lost the kunai there. I will lose my graveyard. Everyone loses their graveyard, but this only becomes a 3/3 creature in the end. It will, get counters if it deals damage, but maybe not that big of a deal. I'm not too worried yet, because I will get to do my. Okay, always forget this thing. Tap submit 0. It has an ability beyond being just a 2/2 flyer. It has nice ETB ability. Alright, so now definitely the Nashi is gonna happen. I will get to return this, although opponent will probably play all the cards. But anyway, let's just yeah. And this is actually ninjutsu works with the Oniculta Anvil quite nicely. Alright, so I get to exile a top card from both of decks, and I get to play one of them. You may play one of those cards by paying life instead of the mana. So both are 2 mana spells. This is a 2 mana spell, and this is, of course, I know. So gain life, draw 2 cards. I think I like the Anvil more here. The Anvil is gonna be just great here. So I already got a token from the other one, but I didn't get from this one, so I can still sacrifice this guy. To, just to drain a bit of life here. Okay. And now graveyards get exiled. I don't think I care about it. Okay, not so bad. So sacrifice an artifact on equal to, yeah, I will do this now because this is gonna die anyway, so let's sack it. They get a counter on that thing. But these drains will, they will add up. I can do this twice per turn now. And they can't, they have to block the Moon Sage sign, they can't really take a risk there. Now that does mean I get to, no, this is not gonna work. I don't get to increase its toughness. Oh, they choose to, what? I get to do this. Alright, so let's see what happens. I get to play one of these by paying life. If it's a land, I don't have to pay anything. So Flame Discharge. I can cast an X-Spell by paying life. You are already dead. Doesn't do anything this turn. So this is what, yeah, I have to. I don't have a modified creature, do I know? But I can make one. I can make one. In that case, X equals. But then I need to ward 2 here. No, it doesn't work. Well, that's. I might not do, because I have to pay what, 4 life. I have to pay 4 life and 2 mana to kill this thing. Although it's a 3/3 by itself, this doesn't have haste. No, it doesn't. So. I mean, I guess it's worth it. Yeah, I can just, let's just do this first. And then I will pay this. I need to have X equal, because this is an X damage to target. I don't have modified creatures, so it's gonna be this. Yes, this should work. What? So I can't cast it. I cast an X spell. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than, oh, it's, sorry. It doesn't matter, I wasn't gonna able to play the other one too. So let's decline this. It's gonna deal 0 damage. So yeah, that was kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, I played without paying its without paying its mana cost. Then that means X is 0. I somehow thought you get to, Well, anyway, whatever. Can play two things. I guess I'm gonna play the 1/1 here. And I'm going to play the centipede. Let's take the trap. Yeah, let's take this one, which could, you know, trade with the automaton. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm basically winning this game, but I know that when you have an alternate cost, X will be 0. Then I just didn't realize it was. I somehow thought that. Well, anyway, do they have an enchantment? Yes, they do. They get to draw a card here. Now let's just now focus on the game. I have actually used my timeouts there. I'm sorry about this slow playing. It's I just hate to make mistakes, and I still made one. Alright, so I could sacrifice one of these to drain life. I don't get the token if I do that. They go to 5. I can do it on my turn. I'm not sure it's worth it. Okay, now there's a flame discharge which I can, you know, cast. Can kill that thing. Although I'm gonna kill the 3/4 actually. Yep. Modified creatures I could more now. I'm gonna just X equals 4. Here. Auto pay for damage. And now I can attack with my guys here and these. I guess I can attack with everything now. I can just sacrifice the tokens that get blocked. And they can't take both the 3 power creatures. They have 1 mana, but I'm not too worried about the situation. There it goes, and then I'm just, you know, I got these triggers already because I had an artifact that died or left the battlefield for any reason. At least I'm pretty impressed by the Onicult Anvil now. Now this should be just a it's just victory. I would have used these now just to make them go to 1 here, I think. Alright, so took a lot of time to make those decisions, but I think this is, with those artifacts, it's a bit, you know, maybe less straightforward. Why my deck is 5 colors? Some bug with the maybe it counts sideboard too and assumes it's 5 colors. Of course, my main deck has only 2 cards from 2 colors. So yeah, these things, I mean, to not make foolish mistakes with these things makes, you know, you want to use a little bit more time. And well, rather than pay its mana cost. So you don't pay your mana cost, which means that X will be 0. You do cast it without paying its mana cost, and you pay life, yeah, because alternate costs mean that X equals 0, I think. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just go to the next round. Okay, well, I have only up to 3 mana cards. Well, there's an X card too, but I'll keep it both colors while it searches. And how a bike, which, well, I could crew with this if I draw a 3rd land. Alright, that thing is actually dying right away. This is really good uncommon 1-drop. So it's a reconfigure card with haste plus, and it's just a, you know, hasty creature by itself, and then it can reconfigure to give any creature +1/+1 and haste for only 1 red mana. That's amazing. Alright, so this is also amazing to get on turn 2, hoping the opponent doesn't have artifact removal, but if they don't, I'm gonna get quite a few counters on it. Cowling Stalker, so that thing will die as well, I think. It will give a counter to itself or someone else, and I don't have anything else to do here. I think I'm gonna play the Flame Discharge because it has 1 toughness. I didn't draw my lands, so I didn't want to let them to untap and have maybe some trick there. Okay, that's a 3/2. Bankbuster. Yeah, let's do it so I can start drawing cards. It's important here to hit my land drops. I will be able to kill this. I mean, this only does something when it has, what, 6 mana, although they might have other ways to enhance it. But if nothing else, the Voltage Surge can sacrifice, an artifact to deal 4. So they have a ninjutsu on this thing. Okay, now it's a 3-2. Makes sense. They don't get to recast that thing though. So now I just have to hit my land drops, right? I guess I don't want them to connect with this guy though. It's really risky. I would have to specifically draw a mountain with this thing. Okay, so this time I kept a 2-lander and I didn't draw any land in 4 draw steps. Could they have a pump spell? And most of them maybe just cost this much, so I'm not sure though. There are some channel cards that cost more than 2. I think it's better to be safe and yeah, let's do this. Let's not sacrifice anything. That worked. Yeah, because they would have attacked with that thing and this would have, or whatever creature they play would have gotten an extra counter. I didn't want that to happen. Okay, they are up to 6 mana, but now I did draw this thing, so I can block that. Although if they have a 6th land drop, I won't be able to block it, but I'm still playing my 3 mana. Or I could play this too, but I don't. Well, now let's play the Centipede. The Bankbuster is, still a vehicle. It's not like it becomes a vehicle after it's used up the counters. It is a crew 3/4/4, which I can still use if I had 3 power worth of creatures, which I don't. Okay, let's see what they have. Bronze plate board. All right. I hope I get my. This only gives enchantment creatures those counters, so it can't give the board those counters. So now, I could play the Steelbreaker and then I have the crew option available, or I can play the hoverbike, which can't block though, and then use the Bankbuster. So it doesn't seem like a good idea if it can't block. So now if they kill the Steelbreaker, I can respond by crewing the Bankbuster because this thing has 3 power. And if they attack with, well, I'm gonna just block in that case. They might do the reconfigure here, which means that I'm going to actually. This is interesting now because I kind of don't want to lose the Bankbuster before I have drawn any cards with it. But I could now crew it and trade with that thing. I'm gonna pass here. It's a bit risky, but I think I'm gonna just kill this thing now. It will, of course, the board will still remain here, but at least this won't be able to give any counters to anyone. I kind of want to draw at least 1 card from the Bankbuster. Maybe I can do it at some point. Okay, so the opponent was stuck at 5 lands. They now dropped land number 6 and they still have 3 cards in hand. This means they must have 3 spells. Yeah, I do like to reconfigure because when you kill the equipped creature, you still get this thing back. Alright, so they had no good attack. That is good news. Goro. Okay, they have a reconfigured. Yeah, this needs to die. They get the 5/5. So if they get a reconfigured creature, they still need to have 5 mana left. Alright. I need to dig into some good stuff now. Although maybe not in my. I want to keep the option to block with this thing. Alright, so let's play the land and maybe the Scrounger or the Hoverbike. I guess the Hoverbike can be. I can flash it in if I need to. Yeah, so let's play the Scrounger now. I only have also 1 swamp here, so better to play the black mana requiring card. So now if I don't have to use the hover bike, because activate only if you control an attacking modified creature, so I would have to tap down the modified creature, assuming they still have 5 mana left after that. But there could be some cheap way to modify a creature now. And then I need to find my removal on the Goro Goro, but I do have a lot of them. Alright, so that thing is free to attack right now. They don't have 5 mana. I don't care if they attack. I just double block and that's it. Draw a card. Let's hope to draw a removal spell. I will sacrifice happily an artifact to kill this thing. Well, let's start with this thing. It's only 1 mana. Let's see what I exile here. Land. I think I'll just simply tap down the Goro Goro on the next turn. Buy an extra turn. I could make myself a samurai, but then I will maybe not. No, I won't be doing that. I will just. This is a sorcery speed activation, by the way. This is fine. I'll draw a card here and use the hover bike. That's my plan here. I have what, 3 creatures? No, I have used 1 Vaulted Church, but I also have 1 Flame Discharge left. Oh, I haven't used 2 Vaulted Churches, whatever. Kind of forgot I had used all this. Okay, now I think I'm in a little bit more trouble. But yeah, I can't let them have a 5/5 dragon, so I will tap it down for this turn, and then I will need to dig deep to, because I just lose to this thing if it gets to work. Well, I have multiple, ways to, like I have a draw step, I have this draw, I have both the solitude and this, but I have to also leave some number of mana for the removal spell that I might be drawing, but we'll see. Well, there it is. There it is. As long as they don't have a pump spell, this will work nicely. I will be doing this in their upkeep, maybe. They have so much mana though that... I will sacrifice the synthesizer. Actually, I want to play this... Yeah, okay, fine. Let's do it now. Because this will now exile the thing. If they have a pump spell, I will be in trouble. Well, they do have a response to that. That's something I'm not happy about. Okay, just a Master's Rebuke. That is gonna kill my steel. I could sacrifice a couple. Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's gonna deal 5. This is gonna get... I would have to indeed sacrifice 2. I don't want to do that. But this is now very good. I mean, now they are losing the 5. They still have the bronze plate boar. But I have my bank buster here. Now I should use this one if I want to have a treasure token. It's a good blocker though. Well, this is not gonna block. I actually will draw a card from this thing now. Get my pilot here. Man, now I get the draw lands. Alright, so I don't need the treasure token for anything really. I could attack with the hover bike, but I have only 2, actually 3 mana left. I'm not sure if I want to do that. I think I'm gonna leave all this stuff as a blocker. I can use the 1/1 to crew the hover bike. And then I have the bank buster maybe happening at some point. But yeah, suddenly I drew a lot of lands here. But at least I got rid of the Goro Goro here. that is really good though. That's becoming a huge, massive creature after chapter 3, and it has also reach, so I think that draw the opponent had there was a really good one. Oh boy, it was really good. Okay. Well, that's not really good enough. Well, but it's time to start attacking with the Solitude, or maybe with the 4/4 in fact. It's not easy though. I would have to tap down. No, I will do it like this. Man, this is gonna... they had an empty hand. Well, I guess these Onicult animals can maybe do some work here though. So this is not an artifact, but this treasure token is, which I don't need for anything. Alright, is that it for this turn? I think it is. So now I don't actually have a good block on that guy, that's also nasty. But I guess I needed to just do the attack anyway. The next turn they will have at least this doesn't have haste, but it will be a massive, and it can have also trample. Yeah, it's a massive trampler. Doesn't have vigilance either. Yeah, they get to attack. I don't have a kill on it because I can't crew my 4/4 sadly. They get a counter on it as well, which I don't like at all. I could jump block it. I don't think it makes much sense. I will have to maybe draw something amazing now. I don't think I'm gonna survive it through this trampler because it will be like 10-10. Okay. Yeah, that was bad. The fact they drew this 10-10 creature and have the trample equipment, that was really bad. Okay, that thing isn't really going to work too well. What do I have in my deck? Well, stuff that won't probably be good enough. Attack with the flyer, I guess, again. They even have a death touch. I can't even attack with the 4/4, but how am I gonna survive this thing? I don't know. I will see. +1/+1 counter on a guy. I'll just oh, the pilot can crew now the Bankbuster. So okay, hover bike. Do this thing. Exile a flame discharge, which will be quite good. But it's not good enough, obviously, because I don't have nearly enough to kill that big guy there. But do I have enough? I haven't gotten a... I could put a counter on some of my guys here. Oh, the flame discharge has to be played right now. I'm a fool. Anyway, it's kind of fine still, I guess. Coiling Stalker. Now I have about 10, 10, 13 power trampler. So I need to... If I get a counter on that thing, I just have to jump block with that anyway. That's what's gonna happen for sure. And then I can maybe try to attack with the Bankbuster. I'm thinking about this. I guess I'll do this. I'm not sure if I will need the 1/1, but I guess I did it already. Fine. No idea what's gonna happen. I didn't do the math here, but the thing is they will be having the... Oh, it can't attack now, of course. It doesn't have haste. It doesn't have haste. Whatever. Yep, with that thing I actually should have done maybe a little bit differently, but oh well. That can... Okay, so now I will... That has death touch and trample, so it can trample a lot of damage still. Yep, really nasty stuff. I don't think I can beat the 10 then, that's the thing here. I'm just thinking about... I mean, do I even want to trade here? Doesn't seem to make any sense. No blocks. Man, this trample equipment is... I mean, I could jump block these forever. I could jump block these forever now. If they didn't have the trample equipment. That's the thing. I will sacrifice this guy just to gain life. Then I can actually use this to get a treasure token, which I can then proceed to sacrifice. Not sure if I'm sequencing things correctly, but I didn't want to draw a land there. Now I could attack with a guy, but they can block with a 10-10 here. I guess I'll just attack with the random 1-1, which I'm gonna sacrifice. Yeah, this is gonna be... This has menace though. Okay, I can attack with that thing because then it will trade with the 3-2. But it doesn't have haste. Why do I think they have all haste? They only have when they say they have. Alright, this attacks. Come on, Solitude. Okay, wow. Okay. I guess I did, I was stuck at lands first, but I guess I have, 3 lands left in the deck now. Alright. I'm dying to the Trampler. If they move the equipment. Can't really absorb that much damage here. I mean, I have 3 lands in my hand and I just exiled a land. There's nothing I can do here. Nothing else than hope that the opponent somehow... I mean, I might have enough blockers to not die yet. Yeah, actually I do have... I have a bunch of toughness on the battlefield. That is true. But the bearer of memory can also, put counters. It costs 6 though, so... If they have a land drop, they can equip and use the... Well, let's see how it goes. I mean, I'm also losing a lot of time here because I'm playing so slow here. So that is massive guy with trample. No land drop, so they don't get to use this ability now. How do I kill it? By dealing 12 to it. I guess I can deal like 10 if I equip the 4-4 and equip the, crew the 4-4, crew the 2-2. Then I will have 10, which is, still a little bit short. So I need to block here enough to I mean, if I block with this thing, I guess I just need to do the as silly as it sounds, but I think I have to do it like this. Yeah, the trample is really... I actually would have won with the Onicled Anvil, maybe with having some jump block generating and all that otherwise, but I need to... If I absorb 9, I will still take 4, so I need to even absorb more than that. Wow. Man, this bronze plate board is doing so much work. I mean, this is the only thing. I want to attack with the captain here to get the temperate in solitude trigger, but I don't think there's any way I can, beat here. I could have dealt 10 to this guy, but it's not enough when it's 12 toughness. I lose all my guys and I take, 2 damage. I will be at 2. Yeah, that's a good trade. Okay, that's enough. That will make me lose. That will make me lose right away, so let's just save time here now. Alright, there's nothing I can do to the big enchantment. I just have to try to win before it, or there's not even much. Yeah, I need to kill the board with my removal once it's a creature. Don't think I wanna play the Dokuchi's Shadow Walker here. 5/5 can actually be quite good against most of their stuff. What is bad then? I like the tapping ability here. Maybe. I do like my minis guys because they can make my... How about the Scrounger? Maybe that's bad. I can maybe cut the Scrounger here and I will play one of these ninjas. Try to push through. Oh, there's a Thundersteel Colossus though. Thing with the 7-drops though is, well, it's the same applies for the 6-drop actually. It's not very good with this exile card from top of your library effects. You usually don't have mana for that. I tried the Shadow Walker. I want to test it at least. Maybe it's interesting. I will also be on the play here, so maybe I can attack with an unblocked creature. I mean, have a creature not be blocked. Alright, I get to, well, not turn 1, but yeah, this is definitely a keep. I get to, well, I don't know actually when I'm gonna do this thing. I'm not sure. I'm gonna play the Dragon's Spark Reactor before. Okay, land was really good. But yeah, this is now, and then the next turn is gonna be the Reckoner Raid and the Bankbuster, or maybe just okay, I don't even know anymore. That's a nice one. Don't know if I'm gonna start playing this, using this ability quite soon. I'll play the Centipede. It attacks as a 4/2. And it's the most efficient use of mana. Next turn I might even do the Bank Bust. If I draw a land I might do this and draw a card. It's a possibility. I'm gonna snap block this thing. They could have a ninja there. I don't wanna... I mean, if they wanna use a card to kill this, that's fine. Well, they get a +1/+1 counter, so that's not so nice, but oh well. Can't kill it right now. Which means that I'm going to do this because I do want to exile a land here. Let's see if that happens. Okay, good. And then I will get to do everything. This is nice. Now if they have a ninja, but then at least they have to return a card with a +1/+1 counter, so it's not so... Even if they have the ninja that gives a +1/+1 counter, they will lose it here. And this only cares about other modified creatures. This doesn't get the pump if it's modified itself. Okay, so they do the Coiling Stalker, but it goes down to... This is a 3/2 now, which I can kill and... Okay, Gorok, well, you know what? That guy I have to kill. Okay, that's a nice one actually. So I need to have x equals 2 here. It's too risky to... I mean, if I had a land, of course, I would just do this. Draw a card and play this thing here. Yep. Don't think really I can't take the risk. If they have a land drop, because this thing is already modified. It's bye me. Now it's not great one way or the other here. Because they will attack with this and this will give it a whatever their drop is. It will give it +1/+1 counter. I don't like that, but that has to go. That has to go. Maybe I'll get some good value from the Nashi Moonsage sign because, well, this thing again doesn't have haste. So it won't happen on the next turn, but who knows, maybe it happens later on. But yeah, this is not great. I mean, they had the fact they had the discard, the channel ability here, that gave them a very, very good start here now. I am of course in the ropes here. But I can kill the one of those guys. This does cost 4 mana though. Maybe I have to play the Nashi here actually. I can do this thing too. I wanna start drawing cards here. It is tempting to kill one of these guys, but I guess if I kill this is going to be back to 2. I don't like the fact that this connects, but I can block with the captain here. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Well, no, I could play this and... Okay, actually I'm gonna do this. I don't like it, but I need to use my mana efficiently here. And I would, if I would use 4 mana on this thing on the next turn, it's not great either. So now I have the option to, you know, block with the Bankbuster as well. Hopefully they don't have more tricks here. Yeah, because this turn I can play the creature and okay, they have a rebuke here. Sure, well I won't be crewing that thing anymore. Which is a shame now. But I can still block the road captain here. I even have my own pump. I know I could block the renegade too, but I'd rather draw a card here. Plus this could be a 5/4 trampler on the next turn. That I don't like to see. That was so good in the previous game. Okay. Draw a card. So this is quite slow, yeah, especially against these kind of decks. Alright, there is the thing that cannot be ninja'd out now. At least not yet. Alright. Well, I have 2 6-drops in my hand. Not what I want it to be. So I guess I can just do this and... I mean, I can't just, you know, use the reactor here. I think that's the thing. I sadly don't have the mana for it. It's so annoying that I have 12 minutes left. I really want to just draw a land with this thing. But if I don't draw a land, I guess I have 3 mana left. It's only good for the anvil here. I'm gonna gamble a bit here. I think I need to be a bit more. Yeah, that was risky, but I think I kind of needed to do it. So let's just kill the boar maybe. I don't have the apple. Fine, let's do it. Let's do it before they do any. Yeah. Now I will take 2 here. I can take 2. And again, okay, they have that thing, so well, I take 3 instead. Still take 3. It doesn't matter which one, if they equip it or not. All right, discharge. Well, I guess I will just play this thing. It's a 5/5. It can block that thing. Yeah, wasn't the most impressive card now, but hey, I don't like to see that. Man, that card is actually insanely good. You get the 2 lands, it will always be massive. Wow, that is such a nasty one. At least I got to kill the trample thing. I can still maybe win with the unaccount anvil here. But now it's time to start. I mean, I need to simply attack for 10 here, right? I mean, I think I do need to attack for 10. Hoping that they can't hasty up to anything too big. This won't become a creature quite yet. They will be, of course, at 5 now. But yeah, the rabbit battery will, of course, make this big thing. Okay, they have a trick. No, they don't. They just jump blocked. Alright, well, that is good. And then I just need to have some, you know, as long as they don't get another trampler, it's gonna be fine. Do they jump block with that thing too? Are they really that flooded out now? Okay, well, this search will be good too. I think I will start with, because now I will kill this. I had to kill on it anyway, but so this won't be actually hasting. Actually, I could kill it. I mean, I could win here just by killing it and attacking for 10 here. That was simple enough, I guess. They had the BO3 thing, but they didn't have a. They didn't have I mean, in the meanwhile, nothing really. All right, so do I want to play this on defense now that they know about it? I mean, I'm on the draw. That's what I meant by on defense. Not necessarily that exciting actually. They now will be. They saw it, so they will be blocking my creatures more. They saw both of my ninjas, so I'm gonna actually cut the Shadow Walker, and that's going to mean that I will have maybe the Scrounger back or Ambitious Assault. It's not gonna be good when your creature count is so low. Kind of don't know if the 1/4 is so good against their deck because they have big creatures. That's why I initially did this thing. Maybe I will try the Colossus. It's fun at least. Let's hope to not exile it with the exile and play until end of turn things. So yeah, I do like the anvils, but they okay, a 9 draw, 2 of them, and the 7 draw. But at least I won't be exiling this now. So these two nice things, but it is quite slow. Let's see if they have again the ninja coming up, turn 2. No, they don't. They don't even have a land drop. What? And now I got my Dragon's Spark. They kept one lander with the Shigeki thing. That's interesting. They need the second land now. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do this. If I don't exile land, I most likely lose it, but it's still fine. And who knows? Maybe I will exile a land here, like so. Okay, now I mean my slow stuff is now of course amazing when they have I'm not gonna use this now. I'm not gonna sacrifice these. I want to sacrifice this when I have mana open. But yeah, when they don't have a second land drop, it's quite easy to do stuff with this my engine here, so to say. They still miss it, but I think it was a clear mistake that they kept the one lander. It's too risky. It's way too risky. It has to be. All right, so now. Although I want to play this one when I say, yeah, I mean, I'll do this. If I miss a land here, I mean, if I miss a spell, then I miss a spell. Because I am going to sacrifice now this guy. Not that one. This one. And if I don't exile, it could be a land or a 2-drop. Those I can play. Nothing else I can. Well, that's pretty good. Oh, they have a 1 mana. Oh, they had that thing. Sure. Okay. And now, I mean, this is already at 6. Maybe I can make this be like a 20 and finish them off. Okay, they played. Alright, they never draw lands here. Well, this is now very simple stuff, of course. I will just Yep, I will just attack here. Sacrifice one of them, get 2 more. Yay. Then I have the hover bike. I have the voltage surge number 2. I also have the reactor up here. I could delay to them if they try to remove it. Yeah, well, that's a very uneventful game because, but yeah, they have also drawn a lot of cards without having the land there. But I don't know. This seems like at 7 cards you don't keep really 1-landers. No reason to do anything right now. It's tapped, so I can play this guy. And I will be grooving this guy. Attack for 1 million here and then do this thing. And now my reactor is lethal on the next day. If I get to untap with it, it's already enough. Plus, if they kill it, my board is quite lethal too. Alright, so did they ever get the second land? They did get it. Now they need to kill the reactor. And it won't be enough, because this guy trambles, this guy flies, so that's like a... If they block the trambler, it's 4 damage, this is 2, and then, yeah, I have kills. Yeah, well, I mean, what's still there's to say? There's nothing there to say, because they just didn't have a good game now with the land shortage. Okay, I'll keep it. I don't need the land, but well, who knows? Maybe I will not draw lands naturally, and then in that case I will need the 6th land for my 6 drops. Don't like the fact that opponents are on the play and start with the 1 drops, because this could mean ninjas, and I don't even have a 2 drop to block a ninja. So this is one of the features of the formats, I'm sure. That you know the ninjas with the 1 drop starts, especially on the play, can do some very good stuff, because they are cheap ninjas. You can for 2 mana you can make them happen, just as we saw in the previous game. Now the opponent though is not doing anything. Okay, they have a terrarium, so no ninja at least yet. My deck doesn't have actually a lot of early drops, but it has 3 of those shock burn spells. That's the reason I wasn't so concerned about my early drops, because I mean, if I draw any of them, they can just get rid of the opponent's things. Yeah, I did draw another land here. That's not good. At least I have some, castables now. Careful cultivation. So this is now 2/4 taps for 2 green. All right. I wish I had. Oh, come on. I have drawn 3 lands here, and of course one of them fetched. This would be perfect if I just if I drew the shock variant. I can kill this thing with 4 mana by sacrificing this. Well, it doesn't happen now, so oh man, these lands. That's actually annoying. That's really annoying. Well, I mean, this taps for 2 or attacks for 2. I guess if it taps for 2, it can give something massive, but let's see how it goes. At least they don't want to ninja that thing out, because they will lose the enchantment there. Okay. Could be worse. I just took 2 damage here. And they decided not to use it for they could have played a 6 mana spell here. Don't you want to do this pre-combat? Alright, well, it's traditional draft and it's a release day. This is literally a few hours after the patch. Well, not a few hours, just a little bit after the patch was, finished. So everyone is playing now. But this is something you should definitely... I was tapped out, and also they should have done this pre-combat. Maybe they wanted to use the 2 mana on the Fang here. Well, there's the boss age reaches skyward. At least they didn't get to cast it, but it's gonna be tough now. Anyway, I get to make them discard a card. I could use this to give this thing a counter. I'm not sure I want to do it on the open mana. This attacks as a +2/+0. That's the ability of this thing. Okay, so I mean, soon they are gonna discard a land, so I guess I can get a spell now if I do this. It's not like the 2/4 is 1/4 is that needed even. Oh, let's do this. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This is really seems like a really good uncommon. Counterspell? Okay. Don't really know if I want to have the counter on this thing or not, so I won't be doing it. This is a sorcery speed activation only. But yeah, now the BO3 thing comes again, and it's going to be a massive thing when it hits the chapter 3. Opponent being at 16. Yep. They have to kind of tap out for this turn, but that's only one turn off. I mean, I'm not going to have an easy time dealing them all this damage. 16 is a lot. Flame Discharge. Maybe I can with all the lands I have with a modified. I guess there's a chance I get to kill this thing. But I would just rather kill this thing too. Anyway, I think it's also because I can make it. I can make this guy modified by just you know, doing this, and I will. Attack for 5 here. They didn't have interaction. Hopefully this will survive here still, because now I'll play this thing and I'm tapped out. And then this basically deals X plus 2, so I can play X. Okay, it will be able to deal 7 if I have this modified creature still on the next turn. Tales of Master says here. So this is the other good one. It gives a counter and then it becomes a 5/5 Vigilance Haste guy. Yeah, I do like both of these sagas from green. Very good stuff. I need to kill this guy now. Hopefully they don't have anything. Next turn they will have this, and then yeah, I will be able to. Let's say if they don't have anything, I will be able to deal them 6 damage. They go to 5. Then I have a Menace guy. This doesn't have haste. This does have haste, but this doesn't happen yet. They do get the +1/+1 counter, but they will, I guess if they don't have a creature, then they don't. Sadly, this will tap for mana. So if they have something, that is horrible. Anyway, since if I leave 3 mana up, I can also put X equals 2, which 4, it's not enough, so I'm gonna put every mana on that thing. It will deal 7 now, if they don't have a response to... If they don't have a response to this, you know, they can get rid of a modified creature. No, it's as you cast this spell. Yeah, that doesn't matter, but they can have a pump effect still. Oh, they can exile it, but okay, what? Sure. Still annoying though, because now they can trade. So they lost the aura, of course. Now, I don't know how do I deal with these big guys now. I have to top deck like a crazy. I'm gonna offer to trade here because they will get a counter on this otherwise. Now, if they trade, they don't get a counter on it. They didn't want to do that. Alright, so I don't know how am I gonna ever beat them. It also has Vigilance. And next turn they have a 5/5 hasty Vigilance. I mean, that's too big. I need to draw one of the anvils, I think. Maybe with enough jump blocks. Yeah, I'm at such a low life total. I can't really take this damage easily. I have to even take the 3 here. Okay, why would they play this instead of using the channel here? That would have just made them win the game, right? Well, they're gonna win anyway. I'm not gonna beat the 7/7 and a 5/5. Plus the 3/3 and 3/3/5 are still good here. I think my deck has a somewhat bad matchup maybe against these green big creatures, because I don't have... My removal doesn't work that well against these big guys. Okay, now I will just lose. These cards won't help me do anything. Okay, so how do I deal with all the big stuff? Don't really know. I kind of want to have these stupid 5/5s, but maybe I get the 7/7 and again cut the 1/4. The 1/4 doesn't do much against that deck, I don't think. I'll play the 7/7, sure. Okay, now this is the kind of starting hand I'm looking at and saying that I like it. I don't have any other artifacts for this though. They mulligan to 5 now, but plus, wait a minute, they also have 45 cards in deck. Sure. But they are now at 5 cards. This on turn 1 seems so unfair. It's just a common. I think the red one is even better on turn 1, assuming you have a turn 2 creature. The Kumano faces Kagazan. I don't know how to say it, but the funny thing about that Kagazan is that the word without the zan, so kakka, that means literally poop in Finnish. So it's a funny card always when I see the text. Okay. So this only does anything if I have artifacts. I guess I can sacrifice itself. Well, that can, and it will, in fact, if I do it on my turn, I will get the 1/1 construct. Yep. So the opponent did mulligan to 5, and do they have a good start? I actually had a good start. But of course, this is I mean, I just drawn 1 card. It was land. That's not a big. Oh, they have a mill shrine. Interesting. But anyway, if I keep drawing more lands, this could be awkward. But if I draw spells, it's gonna be very good. Alright, so I have a 2/2 Menace guy now, and then I have a 2/3 Menace guy too. Sure. So if they want to mill me, it costs 1. Yeah, I don't think the mill 1 is gonna be really relevant. Yeah, I guess the fact it's an 0/4 blocker, well, it's not even that relevant against these Menace guys. I will now trade with the Fang with one of my guys. That doesn't matter. Okay, I mill hopefully a land. And it was a land. Alright, so okay, that's a good one. But I want to play it after this Dragon Spark reactor anyway. Just to grow this a little bit more. I will get a discount though. So let's do it first. I get to play 1 mana Dragon Spark reactor now. Oh, I made a mistake. This of course only works when it attacks alone. Alright, well. Well, I guess this is fun. This is something you have to do at least once during the format. And it's in the first draft, so it's acceptable. I should have just attacked with the 2/3, so I could have gotten this to be a cheaper one. Now it might not matter, because now I basically have to exile a... Well, let's see what I exile. It could matter here. But I wanted to have the counter on this thing, so it didn't matter. Sadly, I do now... I don't like the fact I lost this very good 4-drop here, but... oh well. Opponent is missing land drops, which is also a good way for them to come back to the game if they have a lot of spells and they just draw a couple of lands, because my clock isn't that amazing, except that if they don't have an answer for the reactor, it will, you know, with the anvil, that will do a lot of work. Yeah, they can mill it. Okay, they didn't even want to mill now, so they have 2 mana up, so that feels like it's the Essence Scatter spell now. That's how I think it's gonna be. So maybe not playing the Virus Beetle this turn. I may make them tap out before I play this. I think there's no reason to not attack first. It has many, so they can't block that thing. And then I will use the anvil for this. I don't need the 2/2. I'd rather just do like this and have the full... I guess if I draw a creature, yeah, well then of course I have to cast it and they have an Essence Scatter. Oh, no, it's not an Essence Scatter, it's the other one. It's the one that gives +1/+1 counter. Essence Capture. Okay, well that is actually not a creature spell, so that doesn't get countered by that thing. That was an amazing draw, because now I can, you know, start drawing cards with it. Yeah, Essence Capture is the counter target creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. Well, this is only game 2, so of course I do need to win game 3, and opponent is, no, just like in the previous match, the last game, opponent really didn't have a good... But I'm still saying that they should have mulliganed. They probably lost because they kept away too risky hand. But yeah, anyway, this is of course the kind of match that is, kind of game that is easy to win, because they mulliganed to 5, haven't drawn a third land yet. Alright, so now I can... What I can do now is just play the creature here. Draw a card from here. That's going to be good. So this is a 3/3. Okay, I might even just kill it. Or I can just attack with the Bank Buster if I want to. I'll play both of these guys anyway. That's happening for sure. So yeah, let's do that. Play this thing. That means I won't be drawing a card, but it's not like I have mana to draw a card. Plus I want to attack for 4 here. They don't have a good block. If they want to jump, be my guest. If they do want to take 4, well, that's also very good when I have this Dragon Spark reactor here doing its thing. Planar Incision. Okay, I think I saw that in game 1. Let's sacrifice this because it will, you know, replace itself, and then I get the drain basically for free. Plus I get a counter on this thing. This is going to be lethal on the next turn. So I can do the same thing now. Crew this. I don't have to do this, but I can. So let's crew it like this maybe. I could have used the reconfigure, but don't think it matters really too much. I do this, so I guess I could have done this pre-combat to kill, but I mean the damage is gonna be enough here anyway. Because I will drain once and this will get at least 1, you know. Plus now they go to what, 5 here, so. There is a counter target ability thing, but it's a channel thing and it costs 3 mana, so I think this should be game over now. Yeah. Alright, so Shadow Walker, is that interesting against this stuff? It's not interesting against the Fang of Shigeki, but I do have these cheap burn spells for it. So how many 2-drops I have in the end? I didn't actually even count it, so I don't actually have them. Wow, I'm really just counting on the Reckoner right in the early game, and then I have 3 Voltage Surges and of course the Virus Beetle. These things, the crew things can't block. So yeah, the deck is lacking 2-drops. But I just didn't get the good ones. I mean, I want to have my 2-drops at 2 power here. Aki Ronin doesn't seem to be that interesting. So yeah, there's not really much I can do if I don't draw these burn spells early in the game. So Shadow Walker now. This is fine. But yeah, definitely the 2-drop department in the deck is... Yeah, I could use more of them. I'm usually very, you know, very worried about them. But in this draft, I just didn't even really... I saw the mana curve, it was very low curve, but it was so many non-creatures that I didn't even realize that the actual creature 2-drops are very far, a few in there. Okay, I do have the Dragon Spark Reactor land here. Samurai with the Nashi may be interesting. Definitely keep it. Opponent this time at 7 cards. Still, no, they let me start. I mean, that's even better. Why would they let me start? That's weird. Don't know if I'm gonna get the 7-drop happening, but I guess I can give discounts with this. Alright, so let's start with the reactor so I get the triggers from all the stuff. So I play this thing. If I draw the fourth land naturally, I can just go for the Nashi right away. Okay, so the opponent let me go first. That is really... They don't have even Essence Capture mana here now. And I drew the fourth land. Do they have a bounce spell? I don't know if there is a... There's a channel... There is the blue-green... There is a blue-green... the signpost uncommon. It has one of the channel modes is 2 mana bounce. But I don't think there's a blue cheap spell that can bounce. Okay, now I understand why they have the blues right. It makes sense when you have the other one too. This is a very good one actually. But I can kill this thing and... But before that happens, I'll just... although I can... Let's figure it out if I want to do... Because I could just kill this right now and also play the Terrarium with the discount. Is that correct? No, it's... No, yes it is. I think that is the better idea. I can do this on the next turn. Because I don't want this thing to grow out of hand. Especially if they get the blue shrine. That would be annoying. So let's do this and then I can play x equals 2 on that thing. Yep. And this is still having, many, so it shouldn't be that problematic to connect with, I mean not connect, but have an unblocked attacker here. By the way, this is going to be, I mean, it's kind of awkward that if you want to utilize this thing to play this, it has to be post-combat, and this thing has haste. But still, if I can play a 7/7 Trampler with a crew 2, then I can just, deal with it. I mean, just play anything that, or have anything which has 2 power, and attack with it on the next turn. All right, so let's just, I guess, attack. If they have a counter spell, that doesn't work on a ninjutsu. I mean, what can they have? I'm not gonna not do this. If they have something annoying, then they have something annoying. Sadly, I can't cast any spell here because this doesn't, of course, the cost reduction doesn't affect ninjutsu here. So now they need to do something to this before it. Okay, now I get to... Well, I mean, I can cast a spell here by paying life. I did play a land here because I'm fool. I shouldn't have done that. If I exile 2 lands, I can't play it. There was no reason to play the land, I don't think. Okay, so it triggered already. If they do something to it, it's too late. The trigger is already on the stack. It will happen now. If they had something, they needed to do it before it. Yeah, I mean, that's... Whatever. Okay, Essence Capture, but I have a Bronze Blade Boar here. So this thing is not... So I guess they could have used it before it, because it loses abilities, doesn't it? No. No, it doesn't lose. No, yes it does. Too much text. It does lose all abilities. So they should have done this before it deals damage. Yep. Then it wouldn't have... I wouldn't have gotten the free Bronze Blade Boar here. Opponent. That was a mistake. This only sacrifices artifacts. This is not an artifact. But hey, it already was a very good value there. Okay, so I'll get to attack. This is not a samurai, so I don't get the cost reduction here. I really think they still have another of these things, essence captures, but I guess I can... Well, I'm gonna play the Anvil first. I don't want it to get countered, but now if they have something on the Bronze Blade Boar, I guess I get to sacrifice it in response to get the drain here. They literally have 5 cards in their hand. So why would they do that? That actually triggers this thing. It's gonna come back with the +1/+1 counter. Next one will be a premier draft, and I'm currently at diamond rank. So I think the matches will be a little bit more challenging there. Alright, so they just... I don't know, why would they do that? Am I gonna allow them to counter this samurai? Yes, I am. Be my guest. After they, okay, they don't even have it. I don't know what's going on. What are they holding in their hand? Why did they do this? This makes no sense. Okay, that's 1-4. Sure. Okay, so now if I want to benefit from the cost reduction, I must not attack with the bronze plate boar. Or I can attack with both of these and it's, 6 damage. It's so tempting to play this though. Let's do it. Let's do it. I mean, because as you can see, I'm not really in big trouble. If they have an actual counter spell, which the set also has, they can counter it, but at least I get to cast my 7/7 Traveler here now. Let's see if it survives. And of course the Dragon Spark Reactor is again something the opponent just has to deal with. Now I should do this. Just to drain a bit. So I think I will have a time, I will have time for another draft. It will be a premier draft and like I said, diamond rank. So a position will be maybe, they can bounce what? That's a good way to deal with it. So it will now bounce, there's nothing to do about that. Of course, I have other things they need to deal with. But yeah, the premier draft will be uploaded on the same day. So there will be another draft on this same day when this video publishes. And it will be, I don't know, like a few hours, maybe like 6-7 hours afterwards we'll be publishing a premier draft. Alright. Guess I'm gonna play this first. I'm not gonna attack with alone with the samurai this time. Let's do this to see what I exile there. Could be an expensive card I can't use, but oh well. Don't mind. That I can use. So it's this turn, right? Until end of turn. Alright. So I guess I should do it right now actually. Because I can use that thing to crew the... I can do a little bit of trick. Well, let's do this. I guess if they have an untapped trick, I should have left this in mid-combat, but anyway, my point here is that I do this. I mean, I crew the 2/2 with the 1/1. Well, this doesn't have haste, so now I can crew this thing with the 2/2. Vehicles cannot no longer crew themselves, but they can still crew other vehicles. And now I will do an attack here, which is actually lethal attack if they don't have anything. More bounce. Yeah, this is rare too, yeah. And it's still, 4 mana bounce spell. Alright. Not really a very challenging event. But hey, it was my first Neon Dynasty draft. I would have wanted to have more 2-drops, but I did play enough with the anvils that I think it is a good build around uncommon, really. But yeah, the deck needed to have a little bit more cheap creatures, I think. I don't think there's much reason to go back. This would have been good if if it would have been on the battlefield. It was, but it, I think, got dealt with. A bronze plate boar, it's all we saw from the opponent. It was pretty amazing in the game in red-green when you get the big beefy guys. I think the Undercity Scrounger is quite good. I just didn't get to I really use this very well because their big green creatures are not... I mean, I don't want to have a 1/4 against big green creatures. And then Temperate in Solitude. I had it in one game, and well, it did perform quite nicely. And the other Okiba Reckoner Raid, right? Yeah, it doesn't have haste, of course, but it's still good when you play it on turn 1, and I think it's quite okay still later on, especially if you have ninjas, because the minis help them connect. Experimental Synthesizer. I guess with the 1 mana you get to exile. If you have a low curve especially, this, I mean, either hits land or cheap spell, then you get the card right away, and then you can either use the other ability to make a samurai or maybe sacrifice it for some other stuff like this anvil, and you get maybe a cheaper way to get the other card from exile, because when you use 3 mana and then you exile a card from top of your library, it has to be, you know, land or something quite cheap for you to be able to play it. But yeah, that was the deck. That was the my voice is going away. The first draft was a good result there, and next one, like I said, will be published in like 8 or so hours from now when this has published, and it will be a premier draft. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.